What's up, everybody, and welcome back to All the Things Harry Potter, the soaked in alcohol reread of the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade.
And in this episode, we're going to be getting into Chapter 8, The Death Day Party. Sounds super cool.
Very seasonally appropriate.
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to get into a little bit of news. The third installment of the Fantastic Beasts series has been greenlit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. With production confirmed to start in spring 2020. Many of the characters you know and love from the first two films are going to be back. Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander, Jude Law as Albus Dumbledore, and Johnny Depp as Gellert Grindelwald, just to name a few. We are going to have a couple people who have a bigger role this time, and they are definitely going to be making their way back through to Hogwarts in this movie.
Oh, cool.
Also, we are going to definitely have J.K. Rowling having a hand in this one. She's going to write the screenplay, just like she has for the other ones. And right now, it's slated to come out on November 12th, 2021.
So damn near 2 years from now.
Right.
So we got a while to wait.
Right. We will definitely have time.
Damn. All right. Well, in this chapter, Harry ends up getting on the wrong side of Filch and finding himself on the right side of Nearly Headless Nick.
Gets himself invited to a real unique party.
A party?
A party?
Do you like to party?
I like to party.
Oh, fantastic. I don't think that's really how he talks, but all right. So the chapter starts. It's October and everybody's sick. No surprise there. Madame Pomfrey has made a pepper up potion that works, but it makes your ears smoke for several hours.
Yeah, they mentioned how Ginny looks real funny after Percy makes her take some.
Of course, Percy would. He's like the mom of all the kids.
Yeah.
And raindrops the size of bullets just keep falling. The lake rises and Hagrid's pumpkins swell to the size of garden sheds, which, if they weren't drawing attention before, now.
Yeah, they must be.
Somebody has to know, or at least be questioning, like, Hagrid, buddy, come on. Really?
For real.
You're not about to tell me that those are quote-unquote organic.
Just a little miracle grow, that's all.
Right. And the only thing not dampened was Oliver Wood's enthusiasm for training. Yay.
He's making him go hard every day.
Every day. And today was no exception. It's raining, everything is soaked, the field is wet and muddy, and Harry is returning to the Gryffindor Tower. He is also wet and muddy from practice, and he's fucking miserable. And he's bumming out, too, because during practice, Fred and George were spying on the Slytherin team, and they look pro. I feel like Fred and George would probably be the wrong ones to send, only because you know they're going to fuck around the most.
Maybe they would take it serious, but they joke around so much that I don't know that I would be able to trust them to just go get information and bring it back.
Yeah, no, something would definitely happen. I can kind of picture the Boondock Saints brothers fighting in the vent. And just some shit happens to them.
Right, they do have that Weasley temper. I mean...
That's true.
So on his way back from the field, Harry bumps into Nearly Headless Nick, who is not looking very happy.
No, he's bummed out himself because he wasn't invited to the Headless Hunt. He's only nearly headless, after all. So Jim Dale, the guy who does the narration to the Audible book, I don't feel actually does a very good job with Nearly Headless Nick in this specific scene because Nick is pissed off about this letter that he has. He says, but you would think that getting hit 45 times in the neck with a blunt axe would qualify you for a headless hunt. And Harry awkwardly and obligingly kind of agrees, like, oh, yeah, yeah. No, I see your point. And he goes, look, nobody wishes more than I do that my head had come off quick and clean. He's not technically headless, so he can't play games like horseback head juggling and head polo. So basically, he's the Rudolph of ghosts.
Exactly. He's not allowed to play any reindeer games. Do you know what Nick got killed for?
No, I don't.
Nearly Headless Nick was inexpertly executed on Halloween 1492 for trying to use magic to beautify a lady-in-waiting in Henry VII's court, but instead he caused her to sprout tusks.
Tusks?
Yeah. Like wild boar.
So he's not a very good wizard, or he wasn't a very good wizard.
Nope.
So Nick finally asks Harry what's bothering him, and he gets interrupted when he answers by Mrs. Norris's high-pitched whine.
That bitch.
I know. And Nick tells Harry to get the fuck out of there because Filch is in a shitty mood already, and Harry wouldn't like to get caught with his muddy self. And my question here was, they have a locker room. So why wouldn't you just change after practice, dude?
See, I had this thought a minute ago because he shouldn't really be that muddy from practice, okay? The only reason he would be muddy is the walk from the pitch, basically, back to the school.
Gotcha.
There definitely should have been some way to, like, wipe your feet off, though, when you get back to the castle. Like a giant welcome mat or some shit.
Oh, yeah, they're wizards, not fucking animals. Come on.
For real.
Take them fucking shoes off. What's the matter with you?
Right.
But at this point, it's too late because Filch bursts through a painting and tells Harry to follow him to his office.
And he's sick as hell, by the way. And he still makes it there, like, lickety-split. Mrs. Norris makes a noise, and Filch follows super quick.
I just don't think he's got anything else going on. Well, in Filch's office, it's quite a sight. There's chains hanging that he's asked Dumbledore to give him permission to use on more than one occasion. And there's files detailing the crime and punishment of every student. I'm guessing in history, but I'm not sure. Maybe just the current year, but I feel like this guy could hold a grudge. And he's got a whole drawer for Fred and George alone.
We know that Fred and George are troublemakers, but we've only seen that a couple times. This is a very heavy pattern that they've established. They're in their 4th year and they have a whole drawer full of offenses.
I kind of pictured it like they each had their own drawer just to add insult to injury. Like they're each bad themselves, and then together they're even worse. They probably have a whole cabinet full of shit they did together.
Like the only person in the entire world who can tell them apart is Filch.
Yeah.
At this point, Filch starts filling out a form for Harry, and he mentions crime, and Harry's like, dude, it was just a little bit of mud, I'm sorry. And he's like, it's only a little bit of mud to you, but it's an hour of scrubbing for me. Your crime is befouling the castle. And he starts going to his punishment, then he hears a noise from above his office. And he's like, Peeves! And takes the fuck off.
And it says Harry doesn't really like Peeves, but he's thankful for the timing. And then while waiting for Fitch to come back, Harry spots a purple envelope with silver writing on it that says, Quick Spell. And it basically turns out to be a self-help book that you would probably see advertised on a late-night trash TV.
Absolutely. I think it is funny, though, that he even touches something on Filch's desk when he's in trouble and, like, very severe breach of, like, privacy.
Yeah, oh yeah. He would have never dared do that while Filch was in the room.
Right. Or, like, do you think he would have done this to McGonagall?
Maybe.
Because he's Harry?
Because it's Harry, right. He went through the teacher's lounge, man. The teacher's lounge. Yeah. You don't do that. He got away with that shit.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying, when I was in, this would be elementary. No, this wouldn't be elementary. It'd be middle school, early middle school. You wouldn't do that.
No, I would have been tempted, and I would have, like, tried to read as much as I could sitting where I was without touching it.
Right, you would have eyeballed it, but you don't touch it.
You don't pick it up and rifle through it.
Well, not only does he read it, he doesn't even have time to put it back proper when he hears Filch come back into the room. Which is where this all kind of goes wrong. He tosses it back onto the desk as Filch comes into the room, and I feel like Harry and Filch both notice it at the same time. It's obviously not in the same place as when Filch left, and then his brain just short circuits with fury. And he kind of reminds me of the father in A Christmas Story when he goes downstairs to fight the heater. It just garbles and swears, and Filch says, did you read, if I thought you read my private, not that it's mine, from a friend, be that as it may, however, very well, go, now, I have to write up Peeves' report, go. And Harry's just like, okay, yeah, I'm fucking gone, dude, don't have to tell me twice, and he gets the hell out of there.
Right. See, And this is where our kids don't realize how lucky they have it. Nowadays, with Google, you don't even have to touch that shit. You see quick spell in the front, you go, I'm going to Google that shit when I get home.
Yeah, I'll look it up later.
You don't got to risk touching nothing and chucking it back in the wrong place.
So at the very least, he could have just gone to Ron and Hermione and been like, hey, so I saw this thing called quick spell. What is it? And they probably would have had a fucking answer for him.
Or could have figured it out.
So Harry, amazed at his luck, just gets the fuck out of there, and he runs back into nearly headless Nick, who tells him it was his idea to get Peeves to crash the cabinet to distract Filch and get Harry out of trouble.
Which I loved. Like, the fact that that this ghost, this super old fucking ghost, was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna let Harry get in trouble for traipsing mud through the castle. I'm gonna go find Peeves, and I'm gonna get him to cause some trouble, which we've heard the ghosts talk about Peeves before. We know that he's not a favorite, but obviously they have some type of camaraderie with him. Hey, Peeves, you know what would be funny? If you pissed Filch off, go chuck something over his office right now. And he does it.
Yeah, I feel like Peeves wouldn't have had any hesitation there. He's like, huh, okay.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Also, the thing he throws is a vanishing cabinet that is apparently very expensive. So it's not even like just something little.
He's getting grand destruction of property.
All right.
So Harry notices Nick is still carrying around the rejection letter from earlier and tells him that he wishes there was something he could do for him.
By the way, that rejection letter was transparent.
Like it's dead too. Maybe it's written on dead trees.
Are there ghost owls delivering this ghost post?
I kind of feel like if you were a ghost, you could fold the parchment into a paper airplane and then magically just send it off to whoever.
And it would just float because ghosts float?
Yeah, but I think Ghost Owl would look much more cool.
Yeah. But Harry tells him he wishes there was something he could do for him. And Nick's like, yeah, you know what? There is. You can totally show up to my 500th death day party. And Harry's like, all right.
Yeah, I guess. He's not really sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But Nick just did him a solid, so he's going to return the favor and show up to his party.
Obviously, nearly headless Nick did not do the destruction of property with Peeves just for Harry's sake here at this point.
No, he's plotting.
It was all a grand scheme to get Harry on his side.
Yeah, and on top of going to this death day party, it's happening at the same exact time that the Halloween feast is supposed to be happening. So he's going to miss out on that too. And it was saying that this year it's going to be a pretty badass party, or at least it seems that way to Harry, and he's still choosing to help out Nick and go to his party instead of the big Halloween feast, which is a bummer. Yeah. Again.
But as Hermione tells him, a promise is a promise. You got to keep that shit up.
Thanks, Mom.
Right? Shut up.
And I feel like Nick presses his luck here too, because he also asks Harry to put in a good word with Sir Patrick, the guy that sent him the letter.
Sir Patrick? Perfectly decapitated Podmore?
Yeah. And he agrees to do it, but I don't know why Harry would have any real pull with the ghost community as it is.
I don't think he really would. I think a lot of people just look at Harry and they're like, oh, you're famous? We could try to use your name.
Better than anybody else trying.
Right. They're like, oh, you're famous. Maybe if someone sees that I have a famous friend, then they'll think I'm cool. So after Harry talks to Nick, he gets back to the common room and he talks to Harry, Ron, and Hermione about the death day party, and everybody's just kind of hanging out and chilling. Fred and George do some real weird things with a salamander and some fireworks.
Hold on. It's not real weird. It's real fucked up. So the attitude you just had about that was about the same attitude that the book had about this. And I listened to this on Audible, so I listened to it once and then went, wait, what the fuck? And I rewound it. Remember the old VCRs?
Yeah.
You had to, anyways. So I hit the back button like 30 seconds, and what they had done was stuck fireworks in a salamander's mouth. We talked in the last book about how they were fucking with frogs all the time.